Shalom, welcome back to the Zohar Parsa series. Have you ever been in a room full of people and still felt invisible? Not ignored on purpose, just unseen. Everybody is busy. Everybody has a role. Everybody is moving somewhere. And you are standing there thinking, does anyone actually know that I am here? Parashat Bamidbar begins with the opposite feeling. It begins with Hashem saying, count them. Count the people. Count the tribes. Count the families. Count the camp. Count the Levites. Count the firstborn. Put everyone somewhere. Give every tribe its place. Give every camp its direction. Give every person a name, a family, and a mission. And at first, that can sound dry. Numbers, lists, names, census, more numbers. But the Zohar looks at Bamidbar and says, no, do not read this like a spreadsheet. Read it like a love story. Because in Torah, being counted by Hashem is not a cold audit. It is a form of attention. And attention can heal. A child can receive the same instructions 10 times and ignore them. But when a parent kneels down, looks into their eyes, and says their name, something opens. The message lands. The child feels, this is for me. Bamidbar is that moment for an entire people. After slavery, after the sea, after Sinai, after failure, Hashem looks at the camp and says, I know your names. I know your families. I know where you belong. Still, because there are two ways to count someone. One way is to reduce them. You become a number in a system, a few count, a bank balance, a body in a room, a statistic, a problem, a label, a performance. That kind of counting makes the soul smaller. But there is another kind of counting. A parent counts the children before leaving the park. A shepherd counts the sheep because each one matters. A teacher takes attendance and notices who is missing. A friend says, I counted on you and I felt your absence. That kind of counting does not reduce you, it raises you. And that is the first secret of Bamidbar. The Torah does not simply say, count the heads of Israel. The language is, lift the head, seu et rosh, raise the head. In other words, when Hashem counts Israel in the wilderness, He is not saying, you are just one more person in a crowd. He is saying, lift your head. I see you. You have a place. You are part of the whole, but you are not swallowed by the whole. That is already powerful. But then the Zohar makes it deeper. The Zohar says that blessing does not rest easily on something that has been counted. Why? Because a number creates a border. The moment I say, this is all I have, I can start to feel fear. Only this much money. Only this many years. Only this many opportunities. Only this many people. A number can become a wall around the imagination. It can make us relate to life from lack instead of trust. So the Zohar asks the obvious question. If counting can block blessing, how could the Torah command a census? And the answer is because this was not ordinary counting. This counting was surrounded by blessing. It was done with a good eye. It was done for holiness. It was done to organize the people around the Mishkan, the dwelling place of the divine presence. That changes everything. Counting with fear closes the channel. Counting with blessing opens the channel. So the question for us is not, do we count or not count? Of course we count. We count days. We count money. We count steps. We count subscribers. We count deadlines. We count years. We count losses. We count wins. The question is, what kind of eye are we counting with? Are we counting with an anxious eye, always saying not enough? Or are we counting with a good eye, saying, Baruch Hashem, this is what I have been given, and now let me use it with love. The Zohar is teaching us something very practical. Before you count anything important, bless it. Before you check the bank account, bless the work that brought the money in. Before you look at the calendar, bless the gift of another week. Before you count your children, your students, your team, your community, bless them. Do not turn people into numbers. Turn numbers into responsibility. That is Bamidbar. Now, why does this happen in the wilderness? Bamidbar means in the wilderness, in the desert. The desert is a strange place for revelation. There are no buildings, no comfort, no big city, no status, no distractions. No one can pretend to be important because of their office, their house, or their title. The wilderness strips things down. And sometimes that is exactly where Hashem can speak to us. When life feels full, we often hear our own noise. But when life feels empty, when we are between chapters, when we are not yet where we want to be, when the old identity is gone and the new one has not arrived yet, that is a wilderness. And the Zohar is telling us, do not waste the wilderness. The wilderness is not just a place of confusion. It is a place where hidden order can be revealed. That is what happens in the Parsha. The people are not just wandering randomly. They are arranged around the Mishkan. The Mishkan is in the center. The Levites are around the Mishkan. The tribes are around the Levites. Each camp has a direction. Each tribe has a banner. Each banner has a color, a symbol, a spiritual personality. It is like the Torah is saying, a holy life needs a holy center. This is such an important point. Most of us are not suffering because we have no energy. We are suffering because our energy is scattered. Our phone is in the center. Our fear is in the center. Our work is in the center. Our resentment is in the center. Our image is in the center. And then we wonder why the camp feels chaotic. Bamidbar says, put the Mishkan back in the center. Put the divine presence in the center. Ask yourself, what is the one thing my life is organized around? Because whatever sits in the center becomes the force that organizes everything else. If ego is in the center, everything becomes competition. If fear is in the center, everything becomes danger. If money is in the center, everything becomes transaction. If Hashem is in the center, everything can become service. Your family becomes service. Your work becomes service. Your rest becomes service. Your creativity becomes service. Even your struggle becomes part of the journey. Zohar speaks about the camps and the banners as a reflection of a higher order. The camp below mirrors the order above. That means our physical arrangements are not small. Where we place our time matters. Where we place our attention matters. Where we place our body matters. The room you pray in, the table you eat at, the way you enter Shabbat, the way you speak to someone before you open your phone. These are not random details. They are the camp. They are the way your inner world is arranged. And here is something beautiful. The Torah does not tell every tribe to have the same banner. Judah is not Dan. Reuben is not Benjamin. Issachar is not Zebulun. Each tribe has its own place, but all of them face the same center. That is the balance we need. Do not erase your uniqueness, but do not worship your uniqueness either. Bring your color to the camp. Bring your gift to the center. Some people serve Hashem through study, some through kindness, some through leadership, some through music, some through quiet loyalty, some through raising children, some through building businesses with integrity, some through healing pain nobody else sees. The mistake is to look at someone else's banner and think, if I am not them, I am nothing. Bamidbar says, no. Stand by your banner. But make sure your banner faces the Mishkan. Your gift is holy when it serves something higher than your ego. Now the Zohar adds another layer. It says that when a person does a mitzvah below, that mitzvah awakens something above. A small action here makes peace there. This is one of the great ideas of Kabbalah. The world is not spiritually flat. When you give tzedakah, when you speak gently, when you hold back from embarrassing someone, when you light Shabbat candles, when you learn Torah, when you say a blessing before eating, you are not just doing a nice religious habit. You are moving energy. You are opening a channel. You are helping the upper and lower worlds come into alignment. And that means no sincere action is wasted. Maybe nobody claps. Maybe nobody posts about it. Maybe nobody even knows. But the Zohar says the mitzvah itself rises and speaks for you. That should change how we live today. The next kind word matters. The next honest choice matters. The next blessing matters. The next moment you choose patience instead of anger matters. You may feel like one person in a desert, but one person standing in the right place, facing the right center, can change the whole camp. Then the Zohar takes us into a very intimate teaching. At night, it says, the soul is placed like a deposit in the hand of Hashem. Sleep is a tiny taste of death. Morning is the return of the soul. So, when you wake up, you are not just restarting your routine. You are being returned. You are being trusted with yourself again. Think about that. Before the phone, before the news, before the task, before the anxiety, the first truth of the morning is, my soul came back to me. That is why Jewish practice begins the day with gratitude. Modeh ani, I am grateful. You return my soul with compassion. Great is your faithfulness. And notice the direction. We often think faith means our faith in Hashem. But every morning says something even more tender. Hashem has faith in us. If your soul came back this morning, it means your work is not finished. You are still counted. You are still needed in the camp. You still have a banner to carry. You still have a center to face. And this connects directly to Bamidbar. The census says, you have a place among the people. The morning says, you have a place in this day. Do not waste either one. Now, the Zohar also brings a strong teaching about Shabbat. It says that when Shabbat enters, judgment is softened and rest spreads through the worlds. That is a very mystical way of saying something we deeply need. Shabbat is not just a day off. It is a different atmosphere. 6 days a week we build, measure, chase, count, compare, fix, and produce. On Shabbat, we stop treating life like a machine. We stop saying, my worth is what I make. We stop saying, my value is what I achieve. We enter a space where the soul can breathe. For some people, full Shabbat observance feels far away. Start somewhere. Start with one candle, one meal without the phone, one blessing, one walk, 1 hour where you do not buy, sell, scroll, or perform. Let the camp rest. Let the Mishkan return to the center. Let your soul remember that it is not a machine. This is the path of Bamidbar according to the Zohar. First, be counted with blessing, not fear. Second, organize your life around a holy center. Third, honor your banner, but face it toward something higher. Fourth, remember that small actions below awaken great light above. Fifth, wake up with gratitude, because your soul has been returned. And 6, protect Shabbat, because even a small pocket of sacred rest can soften the noise of the week. So here is the practice for this week. Choose one thing you are counting anxiously: money, time, age, progress, views, responsibilities, problems. Before you count it again, bless it. Say, Hashem, thank you for what is here. Help me use it well. Help me see with a good eye. Then choose one thing that has been sitting in the center of your camp but does not belong there: fear, anger, work, image, someone else's opinion. Gently move it out of the center and put one holy thing back in the center: a prayer, a verse, a Shabbat meal, a moment of silence, a conversation with love, a mitzvah you can actually keep. Not everything, one thing, because the journey through the wilderness does not begin with everything fixed. It begins with one person lifting their head, one person finding their place, one person saying, I am not just a number. I am counted because I matter. I am counted because I have a mission. I am counted because Hashem still has faith in me. And when enough of us live that way, the desert becomes a camp. The camp becomes a sanctuary. And the sanctuary becomes a place where blessing can rest. Shalom.